Well, you're with us here on BTTV. Markets today down about 200 odd points right now. That's what you're seeing on your screen. Let's bring up the index for you. Take a look at what's really driving the trend today. 0.3 of a point percentage lower on both the key indices. And let's take a look at what are some of the major gainers and losers. We've got IT, metal stocks, some of the top drag today. And take a look at specific stocks. We'll pull them up for you on your screen. On the upside, we do have some names holding out. Adani Enterprises, 2.5% higher. HUL, Bajaj Auto, some of the names that are back in form today. So those are a few gainers for you on the list. Britannia, Nestle, so FMCG definitely defensive, if you want to call it that. But let's take a look at the losers and where some of that pressure is coming from. So the IT index is definitely one pocket. We've got the rupee depreciating against the US dollar. So that's the other news today on the currency. BPCL, Tata Steel, Dr. Reddy, some of the other losers in trade today. All right, let me also welcome in our guest. Gaurav is joining us on the show today to take us through some of the picks and market trajectory as he sees it as well. Gaurav, thanks for being with us. Wanted to first get your take on the overall market and really, where you're looking for direction, because we've been treading water now at these high levels for a while the danger of slipping drastically seems to have receded. Do you see us pretty much range bound for a while now?
Yeah, hi. Before I start, I've been in the market for about 2.5 decades, and this is the first time when I've seen that market is a new high, and there is so much of fear in the air. Be it the HNI investor, retail, or even some of the funds. Most of our investors are just partially on cash. Now, having said this, what we feel is that market has made a new high. It's scaled its previous peak, and it is staying over that. So the last high is now a extremely good support, which we believe would sustain. And markets in a very near term could stay in a range, which I think will be good, given the fact that there are a lot of events ahead. Tomorrow you have the RBI's credit policy, followed by the elections results. Next week you have the policy at this US, where US is a Federal Reserve will have a meeting. Given that kind of a backdrop, if market stays in this range, absorbs all the gains that it has seen in the past few months, that would be a great outcome.
All right, great. Fair enough. So, Gaurav, what would be a clear avoid right now when you're talking about fear in the air and you're still sort of, watching some of those global cues very closely? Which part of the market would you say is a clear avoid at a time like this? Would you actually recommend booking profits also on some of the other pockets?
Actually, we have had this a contra view. In fact, we as a broking house has been extremely bullish, given the fact that there is so much fear around. People are on cash. Most of the funds have underperformed, and they want to now deploy money. FII side also, you have seen that there is no big this pressure in terms of selling. We believe that market over next this couple of months is likely to uptrend. It is going to surprise. In fact, we believe that in next 2 months you could have 800 or to 1,000 points of upside on Nifty, and you could see an increasing activity in this thing, small cap and mid cap. So in fact, we have been asking our clients to actually invest. There is this old saying: buy fear and the sell greed. We are, despite being at a new high, there is fear. So I don't think there is any point to sell now.
All right, fair enough. What are some of the areas in the market that you still see value in and, that are looking attractive to you?
So in the very this in near term for this in next few months, we believe banks, real estate companies, and some this consumer companies are going to outperform. So these are the spaces where we still see value. In the banks, especially, we believe that there is still steam in in this in public sector bank space, and in the this in consumer space, you have this merit season ahead. You also have the holiday season ahead. So a lot of these stocks which are driven by spending are going to do well.
All right. Let me see if Aseem is also with us on some of the stocks that are buzzing this afternoon and get a check on some of those as well. It looks like a whole host of them that are still catching our eye, at least individual movers. Aseem?
Thanks, Aabha. The market is down for the third consecutive session today. It had earlier rallied for the last 8 sessions, but it has been seeing profit booking for the last 3 sessions. Coming to the buzzing stocks, Tata Steel stock is the top loser on both Sensex and Nifty today. It saw profit booking after gaining for 5 straight sessions. The stock opened flat and subsequently lost 2.89% intraday. From the sugar segment, Bajaj Hindustan Sugars shares gained another 7%, rising for the third session after the sugar producer said it had settled entire overdues towards term loan installments till September 2022. In all, the stock has zoomed 54% in the last 4 sessions amid the positive development for the sugar producer. Next is SpiceJet shares, which have zoomed 9% intraday after International Civil Aviation Organization said the airline's operations, safety processes, and systems have been found to be in order following an exhaustive audit. Coming to the sector lender, the Bank of India stock gained 10% intraday and hit a fresh 52-week high, rising for the third consecutive session after the lender said it has raised rupees 1500 crore by allotting Basel III compliant additional Tier 1 bonds to 7 investors. The next stock is Natco Pharma, which gained over 3% after the company received the favorable judgment from Delhi High Court in a patent infringement case of CTPR process. Natco Pharma stock rose 3.51% on BSE today.
ये टूट गया है.
Next is the Bajaj consumer shares, which rose over 5% after the company said its board will consider a proposal for buyback of fully paid up equity shares on December 9. Back to you, Abha.
All right, thanks for that. So a couple of stocks there. We've got Jindal Stainless up about 12%. Westlife is up 7-8% today. PNC is looking good. Sri Lanka Sugars is another one. Adani Total Gas is up to 3%. So a smattering of names across the larger universe as well. On the commodities front then, Gaurav, let's get a take from you in terms of any specific names that you'd still find interesting stories there. Overall the basket, of course, is still pegged at what's happening globally. But any of the stories within that pack that stand out to you?
So basically, given the fact that the slowdown in US and Europe is something which is going to unfold over next few months or next few distinct quarters. So we are slightly negative on the globally linked sectors, especially oil and gas and this metals. In fact, even in IT, we feel that we had a extremely good bounce from the low levels. We are also this underweight on IT. If you look at the quarter two numbers, most of the players have spoken of strong this volume growth. However, they have also added a voice of caution, saying that certain parts are showing this weakness. I think once the 2023 IT this budgets are announced, they might be lower than expectation, and the management outlook after the quarter three numbers for most of the IT companies might not be so bullish. So I think IT also a space where we believe that one should actually this bring down the exposure in this rally.
Okay, great. Now, on the macro front, an upgrade coming in on India's growth projections. The World Bank is pegging India's growth now at 6.9%. Of course, tightening monetary policy, rising commodity prices are some of the key factors they've taken into consideration. Their GDP forecast is now at 6.9% versus 6.5% earlier. That's for FY23. Now, do remember in October, the bank had cut projections to 6.5%, if you remember, down from an earlier 7.5%. So the upgrade is actually better in the sense that, we've seen a good show from companies in the second quarter. We've seen resilience when it comes to the markets. According to the report, India is better placed now to tackle any global headwinds, but the expectation has still been trimmed from 7 to about 6.6%. So that's on GDP at this point of time. You talked about the monetary policy. What are your expectations this time, Gaurav?
Yeah, so after four back-to-back very strong hikes, I think the pace of hike is going to slow down in this meet. We are expecting a 30 to 35 basis point hike, and this, more importantly, market would be also watching for the outlook ahead, which we believe that after reaching this terminal rate of around 6.25 percent on the policy rate, RBI is likely to indicate a pause here, which I think will be good you know, for the equity markets.
All right. And what kind of reaction could the elections possibly have? Are you expecting anything or factoring in anything this week?
So basically, exit polls indicate that the BJP is going to come back to power in both HP and also in Gujarat. However, I think markets will also watch for for this vote share. Even if they come back to power and they see a decline in their this vote share, that I think would be taken negatively. However, we don't see any big impact of this state elections unless there is some this is surprise element there.
All right. Fair enough. From the mid-cap basket, Gaurav, let me get your top picks if you're able to share, any of the stocks that are looking interesting to you.
So we are positive on the polycab industry. We like stocks like Aabha, uh, this Kirloskar Oil Engine, Gabriel India, this is Sundaram as fasteners. These are some of the picks in this mid cap space.
All right. Thanks for that, Gaurav. Great chatting to you this afternoon. Good to get your perspective on how things stand. Let's get you a quick update from FIFA as we do. Nikhil Naz is also with us. Let's go across to him and see what's happening there. Last round of the 16 matches, the last set of rounds there of the 16 matches featuring giants like Spain and Portugal. So what can we expect this time around? Let's go across to Nikhil for more on that. Nikhil?
Well, the talk of the town at the moment is the Brazilian team after their stunning display versus South Korea. But yes, two big games coming up, the last of the round of 16 games. One of them is going to be featuring the Spanish team, the winners of 2010 World Cup, against Morocco. And that's a very interesting clash because many believe Spain did not win their last league game to ensure they finished second on the table so they could face someone comparatively weaker opposition in Morocco. But Morocco wouldn't consider themselves weak at all. It's going to be a very close encounter. Just a reminder that Morocco and Spain also played last time around during a group game at the FIFA World Cup in 2018. And guess what the score was? It was 2-2. So the Spanish Armada are going to be up against a tricky team in Morocco. Morocco also may be considered the underdog, but have 5 players that play in top clubs across Europe. So a young Spanish team, the clear favourites, up against Morocco. That's going to be an interesting clash. The other one is going to be featuring Portugal, and that's interesting because all eyes will be on Cristiano Ronaldo. We've heard from the coach of Portugal in Mr. Santos, who's gone on to say that he may not start with a Ronaldo in the starting 11, and that's going to be interesting to see because it's not been an ideal tournament for Cristiano so far. He's in fact been voted in the worst team of the Football World Cup. So he will have a point to prove depending on whether he starts or not. Was very upset last time around in the last league game when the coach substituted him. So will he come and join the party? That is something that you'll have to wait and watch. So the Portugal game is the other game that's coming up, and they are up against a very tricky Switzerland team. And there's an interesting stat there as well. Switzerland and Portugal played each other in the Nations Cup, and there Switzerland managed to beat Portugal. That happened in June this year. So that there is a bit of an history. Yes, Portugal start as favourites, but Switzerland have had the recent performance against Portugal that might just hold them in good stead. So last two of the round of 16 games coming up. After this, we'll know the quarter-final lineup.
Thank you for that, Nikhil. Always good to hear what's happening there. All right, a quick look at the markets then. It's down about 200 odd points, 0.3%. We're just treading water, really. Not sure there's so much reason for concern. Everyone's still buying. Everyone's looking to still find an avenue to get into the market. 18,647, Sensex 62,647 is around where we're at. Broader markets also intact today. A bit of a decline on IT, and at this point of time, little bit of global cues playing spoilsport. Also just a careful week with lots of action coming in with the monetary policy as well as exit polls and so forth. But overall, there's still plenty of stocks that are seeing traction. We've got the FMCG bunch that's up and away today. A couple of the Adani stocks, for example. Still watching out for some of that jobs data in the US. So that'll probably set things off as well. Other than that, metals are also seeing a bit of a drag in today's session at this point of time. From the broader markets, plenty of movers. Jindal Stainless, IDBI Bank, Union Bank, Equitas Small Pharma. We've got PNC Infratech, Westlife Food, Bank of India, a whole host of names that are up and about in today's session. Bayer Crop Sciences, Adani Enterprises, Reddington, Suzlon, Shriram Transport. So a whole host there that are moving in the broader markets. So not much to worry about, so to say, but plenty to keep an eye on as we continue this week. We're just into Tuesday, so plenty of action, of course, due in the week ahead, and lots of trigger points to track globally and domestically both. That's where we leave it on the show today. Thanks for watching.
Equity on your mind? Confused about what to pick and when is the right time to exit the stock? All your questions will be answered. Log